Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. I know it's just a little bit early, but let's go ahead and step into the goddess realm. Good morning. Happy Friday. I know we're about 2 hours early, but you know what? I couldn't sleep, so I figured why not dive in? I'm going to try something a little bit different this morning and see if we can't get a little music going. So, hopefully, y'all, you can still hear me and you can hear some music and we can really just rock out to our Friday jam session. So, you know the deal. Let's start off with a big glass of water, chug a lug, hit like when you're done. Friday social, perfect way to start the day. That's actually really good. Oh, let's dive in, y'all. Thank you, God. Thank you to our angels, our goddesses, our guides, our fairies. Thank you so much for all the amazing direction you've been giving us this week and over the last few weeks, well, really over the last few months. We ask that you continue to guide and direct our readings and make them applicable to each and every one of us so that we know how they apply to our lives. We also ask that anyone who hears this message be blessed by it. And all these many things we ask in unconditional love. Amen. All right, y'all. So let's dive in. I'm going to do something really quick. And I'm going to check my phone to make sure that we are live right now in the right place. And I know it's early, so if you happen to be up and at 'em and you happen to be free, feel free to leave any comments or anything like that, and we will go from there. Awesome. So I feel like this music situation isn't really working today. I don't know. Good morning, Javon. I know we're kind of early today. I'm gonna just check this here. Sorry, I know that's kind of weird. All right, cool. I think we're okay. So let's dive in. My goal or my hope, I don't know, we'll see what the energy has to say, but my hope is to not be here all day. I know the last few days we've been like an hour or so, so really I just want to see where the energy takes us, and I feel our goddesses are calling us today. Thank you, dear goddesses. What do you have for the goddess realm today? What do you have for the goddess realm? Because you're always up by this time. Lately I tend to be too. But the weird part is I've been going to bed at like 1 in the afternoon, I wish. 1 in the morning, and I've been waking up like at 4:35, just wide awake. So we're going to roll with it. We've got one card. How many cards? Whew. Two. One more card. All right. Oh, hello. Good Lord. 3. That took care of that. So what do we have? Let's dive in. Wow, this just goes right in line with everything we've been talking about over the last few days. Summer energy, I think you're right. Rhiannon, sorceress. This just falls right in line. You are a magical person who can manifest your clear intentions into reality. You are a magical person who can manifest your clear intentions into reality. And I think one of the biggest things we're being reminded here is just how powerful we are, that our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, that they create at all times. So as we begin to become more balanced within our lifestyles, as we begin to approach and heal our shadow self, as we begin to shed those old thoughts of lack and fear and resentment and what have you, that we're going to start to find just how easy it is to bring about the things that we really want in our lives. Now, our next card is Mary Magdalene. This is interesting. Unconditional love. I feel like we just got Mary Magdalene yesterday. Love yourself, others, in every situation, no matter what the outward appearances may be. Love yourself, others, in every situation, no matter what the outward appearances may be. And one of the things that, in particular that always stands out with Mary Magdalene is that she's holding that cup or that receptacle right at her heart chakra. So one of the big things I always get from this card in particular is making sure that we're receiving love. And sometimes we have to not only give love, but we have to receive love. And one of the things in particular when we're going into those shadows, when we're working on the things that we're trying to rid ourselves of, or the things that no longer serve our highest purpose, when we're letting go of the fear, when we're letting go of the thoughts of lack, the resentment, the anger, the trauma, what have you, that we don't look at them with disdain or frustration, but that we look at them with love, and that we heal them by being compassionate and showing love to ourselves and being compassionate with ourselves. So love yourself, others, in every situation, no matter what the outward appearance may be. It's a pretty straightforward card. Wow. An Izalt. Undying love. The love you have shared is eternal, regardless of the situation. The love you have shared is eternal, regardless of the situation. I mean, and I think that just really kind of speaks for itself, remembering that one of the things that I always get from this card is that the love is eternal. And so not only is I think it's kind of twofold. There may be in the physical world someone whose situation, is just maybe a little dicey. And the love that you shared is going to be there regardless, or maybe because you're apart from someone doesn't mean that the love you shared isn't there. But also from the standpoint of it's eternal, that the love that you've shared for whatever your life's passion is, for whatever your life's purpose is, that it's there supporting you, that it's that it's eternal. It's regardless of the situation. It stands the test of time. So don't judge the things around you. Kind of the unconditional love from Mary Magdalene. Don't judge the things around you by the appearance. Understand that if the love is there, that it's there, it's going to support you. And sometimes one of the things that we got yesterday was understanding that as we move about this life and as we mature in our walk and we become further and further in our divine selves, that we may feel sometimes a bit of upheaval. And the upheaval really isn't anything bad, but it's just bringing light to things in our lives that aren't aligning with our true soul purpose. And so one of the things that I think we should be doing as we evaluate what we're doing in life, and is this what I'm supposed to be doing or is this not what I'm supposed to be doing, is really making sure that it aligns with your soul purpose, because that's something that you've been carrying with you from the beginning of time, since before you came to this earth. So I feel like there's one more card. Where's our card coming from? It's coming back from our goddess deck. Thank you, goddesses. What do you have for us for this Friday jam session? What do you have for us for the Friday jam session? I just heard my husband get up and I think I woke him up. What do you have for the Friday jam session? Ooh, hello. Oh, wow. Okay. We've gotten this card a couple of times recently. Ostara, fertility. It is the perfect time for you to start new projects, access new ideas, and give birth to new conditions. It is the perfect time for you to start new projects, access new ideas, and give birth to new conditions. This is the perfect time to get started. Remember, we're talking about moving into our life purpose. We're talking about being culled out from the herd, right? We're talking about standing on our own, doing the things that we need to do to bring about what we want, and in doing so, that we also help raise the vibration of the planet. And so now is the time. Now is the time. Remember, we've been talking for the last 2 weeks about how we are new beings. We're blooming in new fertile soil. We're planting seeds in new fertile soil. Every time we're doing things, whatever we're doing, we're saying, or we're thinking, we're planting seeds. And these seeds go in the fertile soil. So it's important, like Diana reminds us, to keep our unwavering thoughts, feelings, and actions towards that which we want to manifest. Because what we're doing is creating what we want to bring about. Or hopefully what we're doing is creating what we want to bring about, but what we're doing is creating what we bring about, period. So making sure that we pay attention to our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, that we focus on that undying love, that we don't judge the situation, whatever it may be, and just focus on loving ourselves and loving others, no matter what it is. And again, Rhiannon reminding us that you're a sorceress. You are a magical person who can manifest clear intentions into reality. Clear intentions into reality. And that's something I keep harping on. We must be crystal clear about what it is that we want in this life, right? about what it is that we want out of our relationships, about what it is that we want with our soul purpose. We must be crystal clear. We don't always know exactly what it looks like, but be crystal clear about what you want. Understanding, again, that when you're crystal clear, that you easily manifest your dreams into reality. And again, we're being backed up again by Ostra, reminding us that this is the time to be planting the seeds, planting those crystal clear seeds, right? So that they can continue to bloom. And as those seeds bloom and as we bloom, everything comes together. Thank you so much for our messages, goddesses. Let me grab one more, guys. Thank you, archangels. What do you have for the goddess realm today? Okay, we're going to shuffle a little different. What do you have for the goddess realm today? Thank you, archangels. Shuffle in play. One more. What do you have for the goddess realm today? All right, life review. Archangel Jeremiah. Take inventory of your life and resolve to change or heal anything that is unbalanced. Life review. Archangel Jeremiah. Take inventory of your life and resolve to heal anything, change or heal anything that is unbalanced. You know, one of the things that I really love about this is that's the main thing we've been talking about for the last week and a half, really since the last full moon. And in particular is going back through our lives, understanding, recognizing where are we holding on to those things that don't serve our highest good? Where are we holding on to those bits of our identity that maybe we saw ourselves as not as good as, or inferior, or, you know, wanted to compare ourselves to the quote unquote competition, which by the way, there is no competition, ever. You are your only competition. There is no other you. No one can do what you do the way that you do it. There may be other people who do similar things, but no one is you. And there are people who need you. So what are you holding on to? What thoughts, what feelings, what actions, what habits are you holding on to that are keeping you backward, that are keeping you back, that are not allowing you to move forward? You know what those things are. By and large, you know what those things are. Now, yesterday we were told repeatedly to go into our quiet space, to rest, to focus, to contemplate. So really, while we're in that quiet space and we're focusing on what it is, we're getting crystal clear on what it is that we want to bring about, we want to manifest, we're also getting crystal clear about what it is that's held us back in the past, that's kept us from moving forward. Understanding that we are exactly where we're supposed to be. We're not late, we're not behind, but now is the time to go ahead and to break that cycle, to release those things that aren't doing us any good, that aren't serving our highest purpose, that aren't propelling us forward. Are these feelings of, well, I want to do my life purpose, but I really have this solid 9 to 5, so I'm afraid to step forward in that because I need this paycheck. You know, no one's telling you to up and quit your job, you know, but what we are saying is to review those thoughts. Now, is it understanding that if you're moving in your life purpose, doesn't it make sense that the universe, that God, that you're supporting yourself, that you're supported at all times? And we've been told repeatedly, A, that we're protected from lower energies, us, our households, us, our loved ones, and our households. But also B, we've been told repeatedly recently that we're supported in our physical world, that abundance flows to us in our physical world. And plus we just told that we're sorceresses, or you're a sorceress, that you can, in the proper sense, that you can bring and create, manifest your clear desires into this world. So making time, that this is a time of healing right now. We've been saying this since the full moon. This is a time of healing. Life review. What is it that you want in this life? What is it that is keeping you from moving forward? What is it that you know you need to let go of? And while you're in that quiet space, in that meditation space, in that sacred space, that's also the time to go in and ask your angels to guide you and to show you, what is it that I don't know? What is it that I'm not aware of that's holding me back? What is it that, you know, has maybe been a part of my identity, or that I view myself that doesn't align with where I need to be and where I want to be? So really taking that time to do that life review, to start making those changes. And remembering, you know, sometimes we try and make these big, huge, grand gestures, And we do great for the first week, 2 weeks, maybe 3, maybe we even get a couple of months in there and then it falls off. Understanding that small change over time equals big results, huge results. And we just know for a fact, science or studies have shown that people who implement small change over time have the most long-term success. So sometimes it's just even a matter of just changing our state of being, changing our thought process. And it doesn't happen overnight. Again, when you catch yourself in that negative thought process, you stop it immediately, right? And you just, okay, nope, that was a feeling of lack, but you know what? Abundance flows to me. I'm fully supported by the universe. You know, again, this is why we're focusing on using our affirmations from yesterday to raise our energy, but we're also working in nature. We're grounding in nature to bring that divine energy down. So it moves in all directions. Our intentions, our thoughts, our prayers go up and they get answered, and we manifest and bring that energy down to bring it here, to manifest it here in our physical world. And again, we're talking about everything, not just manifesting your life's purpose and going out and helping and teaching and healing the planet, but also it may mean maybe you need a more reliable vehicle to get where you need to go to do what you need to do. Manifesting those physical things, manifesting health within your body, wealth within your finances, peace of mind within your heart. I mean, these are the things that we as goddesses who are in balance. And one of the things I love that this card says in particular, it says, take inventory of your life and resolve to change or heal anything that is unbalanced. That is a very specific word. Anything that is unbalanced. And what have we been talking about since the last full moon? Healing that divine masculine and balancing it with your divine feminine, and understanding that balance doesn't always mean equal, but just balancing it within your personal life, right? Healing, change, heal. Change and heal anything that is unbalanced. Now is the time. Take the life review. So one thing I really want to stress, and I was thinking about this morning, and it's really just been kind of laid upon my mind. Again, there may be someone who sees this video. It could be a month down the road. It could be a year down the road. Don't think just because you're seeing this after the date, after today, the 16th of June, don't think that you are late. You are seeing this exactly when you need to see this. So do the work that you're being led to do now. Just don't procrastinate. Don't wait. If you're seeing this and you're being told to, and you're feeling a sense of urgency, there's a reason why. If you're feeling this and you're feeling a sense of procrastination, there's a reason why. And again, guys, let's remember, one of the reasons why I like the fact that it says review, heal, and change the things that are unbalanced, because a lot of times the very things that are holding us back are the things that will propel us forward in the future, right? The things that we need that propel us forward. So when we heal those things, we can begin to balance them in our lives, and then they begin to work with us. So sometimes the things in the shadows aren't always bad. We don't have to view those as bad things, right? Our ego is not a bad thing. It's there to protect us, right? So now that you've learned the lesson from the past, we can let go of the hurt, the pain, the drama, the disappointment. Maybe there was something you tried in the past and it led to disappointment. Now we can let that go. Now you're taking the knowledge, the wisdom, the information, you're taking the comfort from the universe that your angels and your goddesses and your guides are giving you. And they're telling you, go, now is the time. Spread your wings, fly. So just take that life review. Take that life review. So I think that is about it for today. Do we get one more card? I think our fairies want to jump in on the fun. What do you have for us, fairies? Oh, hello. Okay. Wow, that kind of flew right out. Be yourself. This situation calls for you to be your authentic self, which is the basis for your personal power. This situation calls for you to be your authentic self, which is the basis for your personal power. Wow, guys, so that is freaking awesome. That is freaking awesome. Be yourself. You know, one of the things I like about that, especially coming after life review, is there are a lot of times in life where we tend to judge ourselves according to a set standard or according to what we think other people think. And really, what we're being urged to do is, as we're taking that life review, kind of understand and pay attention to where you've been fake in your life. And I don't mean fake like faking the funk on Facebook and what have you. I mean that too, but really where you've been fake to yourself. Where have you maybe assimilated or tried to act or be or think or dress or do things different or say things differently to kind of match with whatever crowd that you think people want to hear, or whatever crowd you think you're trying to reach, or whatever it is that you think people want to hear. And really you're being guided and directed as you go through your life review, be yourself. Don't judge. Again, we're not judging those things in the shadow as bad. Those were things that you needed to go through at that time to get that lesson. Sometimes, we wish it wasn't so traumatic, or we wish it wasn't so drastic, or whatever it was. There was a reason why you had to go through that to get to where you are. And if it was something that was unfortunate and tragic for you, that I definitely apologize and and hope that this is again an opportunity for you to review and heal your heart and your mind and your personal space. And so again, understanding that when we view ourselves as victims, because we're the sorceress, right? We're creating at all times, that we then become the victim. We create a victim lifehood, or livelihood. So again, getting back to that life review, reviewing who you really are. What was it before the world told you what you had to be, who was it that you really wanted to be? What was it that you really wanted to do? Be yourself. Let your weirdness shine through. Your weirdness shining through is really what the world needs today, in a world of androgyny, in a world of conformity, in a world where, people are made to feel shameful when they're different. This is more so what the world needs, in a world of fear where people are afraid to stand out and be who they are, whether that be in their sexuality, whether it be in their manner of dress, whether it be in just their political views. Even it's interesting, even as a black woman, how my conversations have really changed this last political season with my Caucasian friends. Because I think sometimes people are afraid to say what they may think or what they feel, or to even really ask questions to say, what do you think and what do you feel? And sometimes we don't even think and feel different things. But we live in such a heated climate where sometimes it's hard to be outspoken without feeling like you might get, ridiculed or shamed on or hated on or blasted later. So really at this point, this is about being yourself. Being yourself, obviously, out of love and compassion. Being your true, authentic self. But in that life review, where have you been faking the funk? Where have you been lying to yourself? Where have you been trying to assimilate to fit into the crowd? Where have you been hiding? Be yourself. Be your authentic self. Understand that you have unconditional love. The love that you have shared through the ages is unconditional, regardless of what the situation looks like. And 2 times we've been told, regardless of the situation. Unconditional love from Mary Magdalene, love yourself, others, in every situation, no matter of the outward appearances. And Isel, the love you have shared is eternal, regardless of the situation. So have love for yourself, have love and compassion for the world and for those around you, but really just look at that life review. That's really what I want to focus on in particular. Know that you're loved and you're supported. Focus on that life review. What isn't supporting you anymore? What is holding you back? What do you need to let go of? What do you want to let go of? And what do you need to let go of? Heal it. Change it or heal anything that is unbalanced, because all throughout nature, it's all about balance. Whether it be alkaline and acid, it's all throughout balance. Masculine and feminine, it's all throughout balance. Daytime and nighttime, it's all about balance. Summer and winter, spring and fall, all throughout nature, we balance, and that balance works together, even though opposites, to come together to bring life, and to bring life within cycles, right? It's amazing. So again, we know that we are in the cycle of planting seeds. Ostra is telling us, now is the time to access any new ideas. Any new ideas give birth to new conditions, new projects, new ideas, new conditions. So this may be anything from, going out and walking in your life purpose and offering a new class or a new course or something like that. It may be something as simple as, today I'm going to start viewing myself as, the best me I've ever been, and I get better and better every day. It might be your state of mind. Maybe that's your new condition. Maybe someone has been on the edge and they've been trying to debate, okay, God, is this the sign for me? Am I supposed to take this next big move? Maybe this is the sign you've been looking for. And again, one of the things that we see in this card with Osira, guys, if you look to the left of it, we see daylight, right? We see fertile ground and we see daylight. And if we look to the right of the card, we see the darkness, and that's where she's planting her seeds. Her bright, starry seeds, she's planting them. She's in fertile ground. But what do we see in particular? One of the things I love about this is that we see it's in balance. She's in balance. So go ahead and plant those seeds, no matter the situation. That just makes sense. Thank you, guys. Thank you to our guides. No matter what the situation may be, no matter what the outward appearances may be. Okay, that makes sense. So you might be looking around you thinking, now is not the time. Things don't look right. I'm waiting for the conditions to be right. Plant those seeds. Plant the seeds now, because the condition is actually right. Don't judge what it looks like. Plant those seeds out of love. Wow. No matter what the outward appearances may be, regardless of the situation, plant those seeds. Wow. That is amazing. And those seeds of prosperity, those fertile seeds, we're going to plant those seeds of self, because you're blooming. Be yourself. Plant the seeds. Be the person you want to be. Start thinking of yourself as already being that person. For example, let's say that maybe you really want to become a personal trainer in life. Don't think of yourself as somebody who's one of these days going to be a personal trainer. Think of yourself as a personal trainer. Plant those seeds. Now, obviously, we want to be completely legal about that. I'm not going to tell you to go around and start advertising yourself as a personal trainer before you've completed the formal work and the certifications. But you can start to think of yourself as that mindset. Because again, what would be different when you're a personal trainer, right? You're going to think differently. You're going to act differently. You're going to show compassion to people who are just starting to work out, or maybe those who are trying to take their fitness to the next level. You're going to push them as they need to be pushed, right? So why are we going to wait to start thinking like that? We can start thinking like that now. Again, because we're keeping our unwavering thoughts, feelings, and actions focused on our target. And that way we reach our mark. So start planting those seeds of self. Start planting those seeds of your authentic self. That is so amazing. I love that, y'all. All right. I think that's all we have for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, I know that we are super, super early this morning, but one more time, let's social it up. What an awesome message for our Friday jam session. I love you lots. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. Let me just see this. Yes. Can I ask a question? Please, please do. I'm so sorry. I just saw that. I will sit tight for a little bit so you can get that typed, because I know we have just a slight bit of delay. But yes, please feel free anytime to just dive right in and ask a question. And that's my bad. Usually I do a little bit better at looking at my phone. I got caught up in the in the reading. Guys, I love this. I love these messages that we've been getting. I feel so... I think the word that comes to mind is supported, and really just clearly guided as to where we're moving to. And even when we don't know exactly where we're moving, we know at the very least what we need to be doing right now to reveal what it is that we're supposed to be moving to. It just really, really blows my mind. I'm going to back out one more time. There we go, just to make sure. Get back in. Surely I'm going to just sit tight for a little bit, Javon, but please feel free to ask away. One of the things that I think that's been interesting for me that I've had to kind of get accustomed to thinking about is I've always been one who's always had a very, I know it all, right? In the sense that I know that I'm right here, I'm going here next, I'm going to be there, and that's what I want. That is exactly what I want. And what I've had to get accustomed to thinking about is um, how limited my thinking was, how much I've limited myself in what I thought I was capable of, or what I even thought was possible in this world, let alone what I was capable of, what I had access to, really just how powerful my thoughts and feelings were. And so it's been a real challenge, but a pleasure, to pleasantly surprise myself when I start to think of myself in a healthier way, how my lifestyle starts to improve, and how I really am able to start to bring about and manifest and create and what have you. Javon says, thanks. I've been praying to Goddess Isis to help me with miraculous healing. I have so much anger that's driven out of fear, a lifetime of being on guard. It's no longer necessary for me to be angry, but I feel it every day. I feel like the guides are trying to tell me something I can't hear. I guess I just feel a little bit lost. I really appreciate you sharing that, number one, because I promise you, you are absolutely not the only one. So I think you're absolutely right that your guides are definitely guiding you. One of the things that I can tell you about Isis is Isis, especially when you're kind of coming to her from a humble standpoint of, okay, Isis, please help me, because I work with Isis daily. I actually, as soon as I started reading, I feel her right now. And one of the things that I can tell you is Isis is very motherly. So one of the things when I first really started working with Isis is, and I'll make this quick. I tried to work with her, about a year and a half ago, and I couldn't feel her. I didn't know. And so when I started working with her again recently, what she brought to me and what she showed me was I was always there with you. And so what I want you to do, Javon, is really to kind of pay attention to your thoughts and your feelings, because they really are your answered prayers. So there are some things that you're trying to release and let go. But if you're not sure how to go about that, my guess is in particular that there is a part of you that's not fully allowing you to go into those shadows, right? To fully heal them, to shine light on them, to heal them. So one of the things that I would focus on in particular is receiving love, is feeling love. Because a lot of times when we're having a hard time getting to those shadows, or those fears, those angers, to let them go, like there's a reason why you're still holding on to it. And again, remembering that your ego, that I would call that like the ego self, or that's our masculine self, that needs to be healed and integrated into your divine feminine. And he's hurt, he's bruised, something really hurt his feelings, and I'm doing this for some reason, it's just making me guard on this side. And we tend to do that, we guard, you know what I mean? So really it's she said, yeah, I'm scared at the same time. And really that's the biggest thing, and that's a lot of times it comes out of fear. So fear, I can tell you this, the opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is fear. So really what it is I want you to start focusing on love. In love, whether that mean in nurturing your divine self, your divine inner self, in terms of what is it that you love to do. For me, nurturing myself this week, even though I suck at it, was pulling out my nail polish and painting my fingernails and my toenails. I literally sat there on the couch and told my husband, this is me nurturing my divine inner self, because it's something that I love, but I've always seen it as excessive pampering. You know what I mean? Come on, True, you can paint your nails. So I want you, whatever it is for you, I want you to start focusing on love, and I want you to start nurturing your divine inner self, whether that mean going out or staying home and dancing, and you're cranking up the music, whether that means singing, whether that means sitting down and writing. The other thing I want you to do, Javon, is really pay attention to your thoughts. Every time you feel that feeling of fear, every time you feel that anger well up in you, and at first, this is going to be effort. It's going to be freaking effort. Okay? But what I really want you to do is to stop it immediately. You don't have to judge it. It's not bad. It's just a habit. It's a way of thinking. But every time you feel that, you stop it immediately and you counter it with something out of love. So for me, sometimes it's things like insecurities, like, oh my God, before I started doing these oracle readings, like, oh my God, what is the goddess group gonna think? Are these girls gonna just up and bail on me? Are they gonna think I'm crazy? And I had to stop. You know what, Sharita? You're loved and supported. You're doing this out of love. Those who are meant to see it will see it. Those who won't, won't. And really, that's how it's balanced out. You're doing so. Oh crap! I'm not good at this. You know what? I am divine inner feminine. I am divine feminine. I am divinely created. When I think of myself as divinely created, I am not here by accident. I can immediately counter that. So I really want you to focus on what it is that you that those thoughts that cross your mind. And then the third thing I want you to do, and this is one of the best ways for me, and I hope that it works for you, to really start to feel Isis and to really get some clear information from her, is I just sit down and I start writing. And one of the last times I sat down, or one of the first times I really started sitting down, I should say, the first times I sat down and really started writing, I wanted to channel Isis. I wanted some information. I wasn't even for sure actually that Isis was the goddess that I wanted to work with. I just, something kept leading me towards her. So what I ended up doing was I started writing. I was like, I'm sitting here. I really wish that, I had all the answers. I don't know what it is that I'm doing, blah, 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 blah. And I just started writing off the top of my head, and I started writing about Goddess Isis. And I was like, from what I understand, I don't know much about her. I want to research her. I really feel like, and before I knew it, Javon, she just started flowing. These words started coming to mind, right? And at first I really didn't know. I was like, I didn't feel like, somebody or anything. I could feel like a little bit of upsurge in energy, but I hadn't really identified it yet. And I was still writing, and I was feeling like, okay, this stream of conscious writing, I'm getting some stuff off my chest. And then all of a sudden, the words that came to me is, she is me, I am you. And I was like, oh, this is her that I'm feeling. And as I started writing, I literally just started asking questions. And she helped me to understand. Sometimes they, at first they didn't all make sense. When I came back and read some of it later, it was like, light bulb, light bulb, light bulb. But really, I had to ask myself. I sat down and asked myself, and give me a hot second. I'll get you the exact questions that I want you to consider. Get you the exact questions. I got my notebook. This notebook. This is like not only my journal or my ideas and where I keep my to-do list and what have you. This is also where I've been journaling as well. Here we go. Wait, no, where's my page? Okay. So the questions in particular that I had to ask myself. All right, I know what we're going to do for you real quick. And Javon, I understand it's first thing in the morning, so if you have to get to work, no worries. I will, obviously this is recorded. You can come back and watch this. But there's something in particular with Goddess Isis that I think will really help you. Give me a hot second. And then I'm going to read through this real quick. And if this, yes, Path of the Divine Warrior, this like, I swear this changed my whole life. Okay. Alright. Alright. So Divine Destiny. The warrior guides you to your divine destiny, right? The divine warrior energy exists within men and women as their inner propulsion to continue with a worthy path, even during times of difficulty. When faced with a challenge, a true warrior will summon more than him or herself to the cause. It might be more wisdom, focus, intelligence, and surrender to the divine. The warrior within has a great inner resourcefulness and determination. This part of you will lead you into spiritual success. The Oracle of Divine Destiny is to call your divine warrior, is a call to your divine warrior. This is a part of you that has great self-esteem and believes that what you desire is worth whatever effort, personal growth, application, focus, and attention are required to obtain it. It provided it aligns with your divine destiny. This part of you acts in personal integrity, and if the goal will compromise integrity, then the goal is refined until it shines like a diamond in your heart. Then the divine warrior will bring it into being. So basically, what this section is about in particular is understanding that your divine warrior is always within you. Your divine warrior always flows within you. In those times where you feel like you can't, you don't know why, you're scared, you don't want to push forward, don't give up. Know that you have a divine inner strength within you. But in particular, there are two things in particular I really want you to ask yourself. I want you to ask yourself, where are you fighting for your divine destiny? Like, where in your life are you fighting for your divine destiny, right? So, for me at the time when I did this, for me it was a lot with the oracle cards. I was getting a lot of direction to go public with it, but I didn't want to. But I knew this was somehow tied into my divine destiny, but I didn't want to. So that was a place where I was fighting my divine destiny, right? And then I had to ask myself, why am I fighting my divine destiny, right? And I was fighting it why I was fighting it was out of fear, right? What are people going to think? What if someone tells me, like, Sharita, 3 years ago, you were a party girl. What do you mean you're reading oracle cards? Like, I'm supposed to get divine intuition from you? You know, how will I earn my money? What if I can't earn a living doing this, you know? So those were the ways that I was fighting my divine destiny. So I want you to just ask yourself, where are you fighting yourself, right? That's going to give you a lot of insight into yourself. And just as you're doing this, do stream of conscious writing. Put pen to paper. Don't just think about it. Put pen to paper. And you'll start to answer your own questions. Then the second question I want you to ask yourself is, how do I best fight so that my divine destiny will manifest? What can I do? For me, it was trust. That's a big thing for me. I'm a Virgo sun, but I am a Scorpio moon all day long. We do not trust very easily. So that's interesting that I say that, because it also meant I had to trust myself, right? So how do I best fight so that my divine destiny will manifest? So really, again, I want you to just sit down and ask yourself some questions. And again, what you'll start to find is you'll start to shed some light on some things for yourself. And if you know that, okay, so for example, for me, how I best fight for my divine destiny is to trust. And so as I started writing trust, I was like, I don't want to trust because, and I had to let that because flow. And that was able to shine some light on, okay, you had a situation in the past where you dove all in, you thought you were doing something, you got there and somebody did it better than you, so you thought, and then you got embarrassed and never wanted to do it again. All because somebody did the same thing I did, but I felt like theirs was better. Never really paying attention to how many people that I actually touched and helped at that period. But I let that insecurity attached to my identity grow roots and take hold. Does that make sense? So really, I just want you to start writing and to recognize anytime you start to feel that fear, anytime you start to feel that anger, understand that Isis is with you at all times. She is you. You're not separate. If that's who you feel drawn to work with, there's a reason for that. You're not separate from her. Call on her. And just really the thing to understand is also when you feel that negativity and that fear, is that you don't have to assign ownership to it. Sometimes we get pissed off and we dwell in that moment, or we dwell in that fear. And we dwell in it because it's low vibrational and it's easy to dwell in. It's hard to dwell in the happiness when we're staring in the face of darkness until we get used to it. It's just like any other muscle. It's hard to lift a 50-pound dumbbell until you might have to start at the 2.5 and work your way up, but eventually you get to that 50-pound dumbbell. And if you do it consistently, you actually get there much faster than you think you actually would. You not only do it consistently, but you push yourself when you're doing it consistently. So this is about when that feeling wells up in you, you don't have to claim ownership to it. Take a step back. Recognize, I am pissed off right now, or I am feeling very fearful right now. That is an energy that does not align with my divine destiny. My inner warrior goddess is coming through, and I'm going to just allow that to dissipate. I'm going to allow that to go. Just allow it to go. And this, again, guys, is why we're being directed a lot of times lately to being working in nature. I talked about this yesterday. When you can go and you can ground in the earth, you can go in your backyard or go in your side yard or go to the park, wherever you can, and you can take your shoes off. You can put your hands in the soil, or you can just put your feet on the ground. And for me, what I really do is I just kind of face the sun, take a couple of deep breaths, and instantly I can literally feel the earth just pulling that negative energy out of me. And as it pulls the negative energy out, I feel that divine light being pulled in. Right? If you don't feel it, maybe the meditation isn't something that you're accustomed to, or it's harder for you to get into a meditative state. But even if you don't feel it, visualize it. Visualize it. Imagine it. If you can't get to the park, if you can't get to the grass, pretend. Get in water. When you get in the shower, just imagine that water, pretend it's divine light, divine love from heaven, and it's hitting you and it's washing off all the fear, all the anger. And as it washes off, you're feeling it going down out of your feet into the drain. And as it goes down the drain, we don't just stop there. We imagine it going all the way down, as if those pipes went all the way down into the center of the earth. And there, once it hits the center of the earth is capable enough, is so magnificent enough that it takes all that negative energy and it transmutes it into love and sends it right back out into the world. Never underestimate how powerful your mind is. Keep your unwavering thoughts, feelings, and actions on your target, and you will desire, or you will get your mark. Yesterday, we were told specifically to use affirmations. Use affirmations. Use affirmations to raise your energy. To lift up your thoughts and energy and to attract what you desire, use positive affirmations. You'd be amazed. I would use them multiple times a day. Handwrite them out, but also keep a copy in your phone. So if you're, for example, not at home or somewhere where you can't pull out your notebook and you're at work and somebody just really kind of sent you to the moon, you can run to the bathroom stall, and go through them in your mind. You can pull them up real quick on your phone and be discreet and go through them in your mind until you have them memorized. And it's amazing. As you go through your mantras, as you go through your affirmations, you will just feel it release and let go. But also, Javon, I want you to remember, and anybody else who watches this, that those are things that you can control, right? Sometimes we literally allow ourselves to dwell in the darkness or in the fear or in the frustration and the anger because it's easier. Sometimes we allow ourselves to dwell there. It's easier to be pissed off than to admit to myself that I fucked up. Pardon my French. She said, dude, thank you so very much. This helps. I have to go to work. You are no worries. You are more than welcome. And again, I understand that you have to go to work. I went a little early today, and I know I'm going a little long. But again, I really want y'all to understand just how much control you have. It's just a matter of taking the time to sit down and do the work. And Javon is definitely not alone. I mean, I know exactly those feelings that she described in terms of, I know that I've got some imbalance in life. I know that I'm holding on to fear and anger. About a year ago, I realized that I was just really that my heart chakra was closed. And not only was it closed, but I realized that I was actively closing it. That I was like holding on to it tight, like, no! And I couldn't, like, it took me months, honestly, to figure out, like, what the hell for? And how, and when once I figured out why, then it took me a little bit to actively get it to not only open, but to remain open. And you know what, guys? At the end of the day, it was all out of fear. What if I gave my entire heart to this man and he crushed it? What if I gave my entire self to this project and it failed? What if I actually cared about this person and let them know and then they just ignored me? Because you know what, growing up just in even in friendships and relationships, you know, I've had a lot of disappointment in life that I've always tend to, nope, you're not gonna hurt my feelings because I ain't even giving my feelings to this situation. You know, I remember it came apparent to me, just a personal side story, a couple years ago, as I began to change, I started to become a more emotional person. And I remember one time in particular, I was sharing something with my husband and I just started crying. And he just stood there and stared at me. And I was like, why are you staring at me? You know, like, why aren't you saying anything? And he was like, babe, I don't know what to do. I'm not used to you being an emotional person. He said, for so many years, you were just very unemotional. And what I started to realize is as I started to get into myself, as I started to nurture myself, and believe it or not, this was all coming about when I was getting into fitness. As I was able to get more in tune with myself, I started to realize I do have emotions in there. And then those emotions, because I was trying to still ignore them, sometimes they'd come out very abruptly, very inappropriately, usually after a bunch of vodka. You know, and that's just real talk. I mean, sometimes we have friends who are just really awesome, and then you go party with them, and you're like, that person's out of control. Because it's the only time they're open enough to allow that shadow self to shine, and then it shines so extremely, you know. And then I had to learn to what is my shadow self? What are those shadows? And then how to even go down to the shadows to heal them. But at the end of the day, what I had to do was get brave. Trust and understand that I have my warrior goddess. Use my affirmations to pump me up, to get me motivated, to fill myself with love. And in addition to that, I had to start allowing myself to receive love. And once I was able to receive love, oh my goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Guess what? Then I was able to give love. Then once I was able to receive love, I was actually able to fill my heart up. And now I don't fear that someone is going to take that and leave me crushed and defeated. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, number one, I know who I am. Number two, I trust my intuition. And number three, I now am sensitive enough because I'm in tune with my emotions and my sensitivity and my vibrations that I can feel them. So I know whether or not they're being genuine with me. You know, learning to understand my discernment. So a lot of times we hold ourselves back because we're not sure that we can handle it. And I want you to know that your divine destiny comes with an inner warrior goddess. And that she is with you at all times. And really what she's just waiting for you to do is to call on her and activate her. And if you don't feel her immediately, because sometimes, you know, it's hard to feel energy. Especially when we're trapped up here and we can't get into ourselves. Use your affirmations. I am divine warrior goddess. I am inner beauty, or I am beauty inside and out. I am fearless. I am full of love and compassion. I am abundance. I am. Keep saying them. Usually for me, because I have a list of about 10. Usually for me, 10 to 12. By the third round, because the first round is kind of like, ugh, oh my God. All right, I need to do this, Sharita, come on. The second round's like, okay, yeah, I got through it. Third round's like, oh yeah, I'm that girl. If I go beyond then I'm like, but seriously, that's when you feel it coming on, go back to your affirmations. it really isn't that difficult. I know it sounds like, okay, Sharita, that's just it can't just be that. I promise you, it really is that simple. You have control. You have control. That's the first and foremost thing that you have to remember. That you have control. Other people don't dictate your thoughts and feelings. And we just got told today, straight up, be yourself. Be yourself. Be yourself. All right, guys. You know me. I'll go on for another 3 hours. I love you lots. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for joining me for our Friday jam session. I hope you had a great one. Before we go, let's get one more social. By the way, Javon, if you have any more questions, please feel free to send me a PM. We can always do a private reading. And there's some great meditations that go along with working on the shadow self and healing that I will gladly share with you. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I look forward to seeing you guys again tomorrow morning. I'd like to say it would be normal time, but these days for me, I mean, what the heck is normal time, right? So I'll see you when I see you. I love you guys lots. Have an awesome, awesome day. Bye.